And one thing I always do at the end of, obviously mounting a tire and all the little things that go, this is really our 13,000 mile maintenance that we're supposed to do. So I wanted to clean this up. Now, a lot of people don't know about this, and it's a very simple thing. It's a paint stirring stick. I've carved it to a point. What it allows me to do while I have the wheel off is get in these spoked areas that build up grit and grime. For the people that do like to have a clean bike, this is a really nice little accessory. It's soft enough wood that it doesn't scratch anything if it wears its way through, so I just move that over a little bit and get in all the little grooves and nooks and crannies. And for the people that would rather ride a bike that looks like it belongs in a dumpster, well, that's okay. But I don't. And I guess I'm prejudiced. I really do like to have it clean. Now, once it's clean, of course, I want to see. Now, usually Michelin tires are pretty well balanced. I've never seen one that needs like tons of weight. So what I do, this is the weight that came on this, which basically was where I didn't take the old weight off. I want to just see how bad this tire is, and if it's close, I put it at all 4 stations, 12, 9, 6, 3. If it doesn't drop real radically, that looks like, and that's with the weight that was on it. So I'm not even going to take that weight off. Now, if that weight wound up at the bottom, I'd take it off, of course. Didn't work out that way. In fact, this was balancing, and I think it was pretty much, it was balancing no matter where I put it, so it really doesn't matter. And this balancer is really nice and sensitive, so yeah, that's about as good as you're going to get it. Now, and I understand a lot of people, Luciano included, don't balance tires at all. Well, it's okay. He doesn't seem to have any problems, so maybe it is overkill. And it's an old school thing, because years ago, I remember, of course, mounting a lot of tires that needed 60 grams of weight to get them. Of course, that was old school. It's like old people like me. Anyway, without finishing this video, I wanted to thank Pokey, who donated this to our cause. A good man indeed, and thanks to him, there's at least 20 people have used this already, and we all have balanced wheels. So, and while I have it apart here, this is the other part. These are things that are almost impossible to get to when the bike is all in one piece, but I can get in here and clean this up. And when I'm all done, I'll clean the disc with some of the brake parts cleaner, just make sure I don't have any wax or soap or anything on it. But this was one of the nicest things. Now, here's another little trick, and I want to show this too. You can't really move the camera around. All of these parts that when you take the wheel off, they're all dirty. Now, what I always do, and a lot of people think this is overkill, I go down to my wire wheel or my wire brush or whatever, clean up any rust that's on there, and put a really light coat of WD-40 or car wax or something on there. Because what happens with all of these parts, especially aluminum, the dirt that sticks to the aluminum absorbs moisture. That moisture causes more oxidation or rust or whatever, ruining the finish of the bike. So just by having even this part, just touch it to a wire wheel, clean this up before I put it back. In this case, it's not that corroded. A little coat of ordinary car wax, detailer wax. And it's these kind of things that what happens is when a bike, and we're going to have 4 historic bikes registered here very soon. What happens at the end of 25 years, these parts that were cleaned and coated with WD-40 or car wax, you can still work on the bike conveniently. When they're not, oh my God, what a rust bucket a bike becomes. And especially if you leave it outside and put a cover over it, that holds the moisture right into it. But always remember, dirt, there's 2 things I always remember. Dirt and moisture, water, are not your friend when you own a motorcycle. The 2 worst enemies of a motorcycle, water people that hose their bike off with a garden hose, then wonder why all the electrical connectors rot away and rust and everything. Well, what seems to preserve a bike, and I should, 25 years or more, and without really making this some kind of a big deal, if you look at any of these bikes, I mean, the green bike's 26 years old. This is going to be a historic bike in 4 months, 3 months. And the Suzuki, what's unique about them, none of the bolts are rusted, none of the parts are corroded. When you go to take them apart, it's a pleasure to work on. Even this bike that I'm diligently maintaining this bike, which is half Rob's bike and half mine, because I don't want to get to the point 6, 8 years from now and all the bolts are rusted shut and there's a salami sandwich and a muffler and everything. A little bit of maintenance and a little bit of what I call just a labor of love, it just goes a long way. So we did 3 separate videos today. I hope I didn't bore you to death.